Long before the great dinosaurs roamed the earth, our world was home to smaller but no less wonderful creatures. Imagine a little reptile, no bigger than your hand. It scurries through a forest of giant ferns and strange ancient trees. This creature is called Longisquama. It is a truly remarkable animal, not because of its size, but because of a fantastic feature it carried upon its back. A series of long, elegant spines grew from its skin, forming a sort of fin or sail. These spines were not for defense, nor were they for flying. No, they held a secret. They were a tool for sending silent messages across the ancient landscape, a secret language all its own. This little reptile was quite a sight to behold. Its body was small and slender, perfect for darting between the oversized plants of its time. It likely had bright, curious eyes, always watching for insects to eat or larger creatures to avoid. But all attention would have been drawn to its magnificent back display. Each spine was long and thin, almost like a feather, but not quite. They fanned out in a beautiful array, creating a crest that made the tiny creature look much grander than it was. It was a living jewel in a green, prehistoric world, a tiny dragon with a secret to share. Scientists have puzzled over Longisquama for many years. What was the purpose of such a strange and delicate structure? It seemed too fragile for a fight, and wasn't shaped right to help it glide through the air. The answer, it seems, lies in the world of communication. Just as a peacock fans its tail to show off its beauty, this little reptile may have used its amazing fin to talk to others of its kind. It was a billboard, a signal flare, and a greeting card, all rolled into one. This tiny creature was a pioneer, using visual signals to navigate its social world millions of years ago. The very idea of this is enchanting. Picture two of these creatures meeting. One might raise its fin, perhaps catching the sunlight to create a dazzling flash of color. The other might respond by flicking its own spines in a particular pattern. It's a silent conversation, a dance of light and form. This wasn't just a simple animal, it was a sophisticated communicator. It understood the power of a visual display. It knew how to stand out, how to warn a rival, or how to beckon a friend. This little reptile reminds us that the drive to connect with others is one of the most ancient and powerful forces in the natural world. To understand our little messenger, we must journey back in time. We travel to the Triassic period, a time of great change that began around 252 million years ago. This was a world recovering and rebuilding after a massive extinction event had wiped out most life on Earth. The continents were all joined together in one giant landmass called Pangaea. The climate was often hot and dry, but in places like modern-day Central Asia, where Longisquama fossils were found, there were lush forests. It was in these vibrant green environments that our tiny reptile made its home. Life in the Triassic was an adventure. The first dinosaurs were just beginning to appear, but they were not yet the giants we often imagine. Instead, the world was filled with a diverse array of reptiles, amphibians, and strange early mammals. Longisquama would have shared its forest home with large crocodile-like predators lurking in the waterways and other bizarre reptiles exploring the land. It had to be quick and clever to survive. Its small size was an advantage, allowing it to hide easily among the roots of towering trees and dense undergrowth. Every day was a challenge, a search for food and a struggle to avoid becoming food itself. In this bustling and often dangerous world, being able to communicate quickly and clearly was essential. Making loud noises could attract unwanted attention from a hungry predator. A visual signal, however, is silent. It can be seen by the intended audience without alerting every creature in the vicinity. This is why the fin of Longisquama was so brilliant. It was a private channel of communication. The reptile could send a message to another Longisquama nearby without broadcasting its location to the entire forest. It was a secret, visual whisper in a world full of roars and growls. The fin itself was likely a masterpiece of natural engineering. Scientists believe the spines were covered in a thin layer of skin. This skin could have been filled with pigment cells, allowing it to be incredibly colorful. Imagine bright reds, vivid blues, or iridescent greens, flashing in the dappled sunlight of the Triassic forest. The reptile might have even been able to control the flow of blood into the skin, causing the colors to brighten or fade in an instant. This wasn't just a static display, it was a dynamic, living screen capable of broadcasting a whole range of signals. So what might these little reptiles have been saying to each other? We can find clues by looking at animals alive today. Modern lizards, for instance, are masters of visual communication. An Anole lizard in the Caribbean will flash its brightly colored throat fan, called a dewlap, to declare its territory or attract a mate. Chameleons famously change their skin color not just for camouflage, but to express their mood. A bright, vibrant chameleon is often happy and confident, while a dark, drab one might be scared or angry. These animals use color and movement as a language, and it is likely Longisquama did the same. We can imagine a whole vocabulary of signals. A quick flick of the fin might have been a simple hello to a passing friend. A slow, deliberate raising of the entire fan, showing off its full size and color, could have been a warning to a rival. This is my territory, stay away. The bright colors would have made the message impossible to ignore. A male Longisquama might have performed an elaborate dance, waving and shimmering his fin to impress a female. He would be saying, "Look at me, see how strong and healthy I am. I have the most beautiful fin." Scientists support this theory because the fin seems perfectly designed for signaling. The spines are long and create a large surface area, making them highly visible from a distance. Their unique, almost feather-like shape is unlike anything used for defense or flight in other reptiles of the time. The structure is delicate, suggesting it was for show, not for combat. Nature is very efficient. It rarely produces such a complex and conspicuous feature without a very important purpose. Communication, especially for mating and establishing territory, is one of the most important jobs an animal has. One of the most exciting aspects of this discovery is how early it appeared in the history of life. Finding such a sophisticated tool for visual communication in the Triassic period is extraordinary. It tells us that complex social behaviors were evolving much earlier than we once thought. These little reptiles weren't just simple creatures driven by instinct alone. They had social lives. They needed to interact, to compete, and to cooperate. Their beautiful back fin was their key to navigating that complex social world, a silent language that served them well for millions of years. The story of Longisquama is a wonderful window into a lost world. This adorable little creature, with its oversized fashion statement, shows us that the desire to be seen and understood is ancient. It is a fundamental part of life on our planet. The strategies it used, bright colors, impressive displays, and deliberate movements, are not relics of the past. We see them everywhere in the animal kingdom today. From the flashing colors of a cuttlefish to the elaborate dance of a bird of paradise, the art of visual communication is alive and well. When you next see a lizard basking in the sun or a bird puffing out its chest to sing, you are seeing an echo of what Longisquama was doing over 240 million years ago. The fundamental principles are the same. Animals use their bodies to send messages about who they are, what they want, and how they feel. The technology has changed. Feathers, fins, and colorful skin have all been adapted for the job, but the purpose remains. It is a continuous conversation that has been passed down through countless generations, from the dawn of the dinosaurs to the present day. The discovery also highlights how much we can learn from a few precious fossils. The remains of Longisquama are rare, but they provide us with invaluable clues about the behavior of ancient animals. Paleontologists act as detectives, piecing together the bones, the environment, and the likely behaviors to bring these creatures back to life in our imaginations. Every new fossil can change our understanding and reveal surprising new details, like the fact that tiny Triassic reptiles had a secret silent language written in the colors of their fantastic back fins. So the next time you think about the age of reptiles, don't just picture giant, roaring dinosaurs. Remember the small, quiet ones too. Remember Longisquama, the tiny messenger with its spectacular sail. It reminds us that even the smallest creatures can have big, important stories to tell. We just have to learn how to listen with our eyes. The history of our planet is filled with such wonders, enchanting creatures that found brilliant and beautiful ways to connect with one another in a world very different from our own.